This week was a ton of hard work, sweat and tired muscles, but no tears and thankfully no blood, which is saying something considering we moved a collective of about 10,000 pounds of equipment. Ugh, it was so cool. Nerve-wracking. I mean, there were plenty of times that I had my serious concentration face on, but everything went smooth, so now I can just sit here and giggle at how powerful I felt moving such big and heavy stuff. Overall, there were 2 4x8 CNCs that were moved, a 4x4 plasma table, and my giant Matt Cremona bandsaw mill, which traveled in 2 parts, the bed and the carriage. If you missed the announcement, I bought a commercial building that I'm turning into a retail space and production shop, and that's where all of this equipment is heading to. Some of the stuff was in storage and other items were in my shop, but we were starting with emptying the storage unit, which is where the first 4x8 CNC was being held. Well, I actually started by renting a piece of equipment. The SkyTrack is the big hero of this story. It's a forklift that's on a telescoping boom, and what I had to do was pick it up from the rental center and then drive it to the storage units. You know you're in the country when you can get away with driving a SkyTrack on the shoulder of the main road. To lift the giant CNC, the approach we took was to wrap 2 straps around the main framing member under the CNC, but close to center. Then come in with the forks to stab through them, then pick up the entire machine to slowly back out. Then lift it up and onto the trailer. I should probably mention this is my first time driving one of these. Of course, it was just my luck that it was drizzly all day, but Jake and Terry and Justin, don't forget the guy behind the camera, were just as committed as me to get the work done in the 24-hour window we had the machine. So, once the CNC was on the trailer, we very quickly threw a tarp on it, then moved it down the road to the woodshed, where we had to figure out how to offload it. See, while I was able to drive the SkyTrack on the road, it's a very time-consuming as max speed is about 12 miles an hour with a tailwind and going downhill. So to prevent having to make a bunch of trips with it, we figured we would keep the machine at my shop to load things, but then use a gantry and chain hoist to offload them at the woodshed. One small glitch with this plan. The gantry was just shy of being able to straddle the fender wells of the trailer, which meant it could still be used, but couldn't make it to the center of the trailer. So we had to work a little bit harder to get the CNC to a point where the gantry could pick it up. But once it did, we could move the trailer out from under it, then roll it over to its new space. I hope he's a terrier. Aww. Yeah, now you're getting some spirit back in you. So this dog, we were offloading the CNC and we heard a dog crying, either in pain or scared. And we look outside and somebody had left him in a kennel just outside of the building. I have no idea how long he's been there, but now he is obviously recouping his little spirits. And we're gonna give him a good home. Aren't we, bud? It is such a sad thing that somebody was heartless enough to abandon this dog randomly in front of a building. But the good news is, now he has a great home. I was gonna keep him, but my mom and dad have been looking for a new dog, so they talked me out of it. His name is Cowboy, and a month later, I'm happy to report that he couldn't be living a better life. Okay, 1 piece of equipment down, just 4 more to worry about. Next, we headed to my shop where I was storing a second identical 4x8 CNC machine. This one was stored where I didn't have access with the machine to the short side. So we first used a strap to wrap around the bottom, then another strap looped through the 2 handholds that attach to the forks. This allowed me to pick up the machine around the center point, enough for the guys to rotate around and then re-strap it like they did on the first machine. By the way, while the heavy lifting required more than my simple straps could tolerate, they still came in handy at several different times. One instance was to quickly bundle and wrap up all of the cords and wires on these machines so that they wouldn't hang up on anything. You could use duct tape, but these are reusable and leave no residue. Plus, you can cut them to any length needed. I successfully got it out of my shop and loaded onto the trailer. And then out of nowhere, a bunch of trees attacked me.
That's a success! Oh, that is not!
See? Out of nowhere. Okay, up next was the 4x4 plasma table. This one I had on my own metal building on my property, and it's difficult to get a gauge from this shot, but it was at the very back, about 13 feet from the doorway. This is where the telescoping boom shined. I was able to get my front tires as close to the opening of the building as possible, and then reach in with the forks and extend them out all the way to scoop it up, and then slowly inch it back and out. Now, I'm still a noob when it comes to operating equipment. As I said, this is my first time operating one of these, but what I do know is patience is the main virtue here. Making slow and controlled movements is key. Of course, I would pick up a load as high as I needed to avoid hitting things or have the legs hitting the floor. But a common rule you can always follow is to keep your load as close to the ground as possible. I would pick it up to get it out of the building, but then immediately drop it to just above the ground when driving with it, until I needed to lift it up again to get over the trailer railing. Now, this one was tricky to offload because I placed it on the trailer so that it would ride with its weight on the axles. But this meant I wasn't able to reach it with the gantry since, go figure, it was still a little bit too narrow to straddle the fender wells. So Jake came up with a very clever solution to use a few straps around the front legs, then utilize a chain hoist to slowly, but surely, pull the entire table forward. It is very good to remember that these chain hoists can be used in other positions outside of vertical. Once it was pulled forward enough, then we could pick it up with the gantry, move it off the trailer, and over to its new home. Man, who knew that a mobile gantry would be so useful? I bought this one at Harbor Freight, and I think it's a gem. Okay, and now for the big guy, the one that really got my heart racing when thinking about this move. I am talking about my giant bandsaw mill. This is by far the heaviest and tallest item to move. It is two parts though. The carriage on top rolls on the base and simply lifts up and off. It is the only item on the list that required the SkyTrack to take off, but also put back on, which meant I would need to get the SkyTrack over to the woodshed in order to get it off the trailer and reassemble the mill. However, to only make one trip with the machine, the plan was to pick up the carriage but then set it aside. Then pick up the base and move it over to the woodshed first. To pluck it, I tried to get my forks as wide as possible when picking this thing up. However, they were barely too narrow to go to the outside of those diagonal gussets you see. So we were forced to go to the inside of them. I did a test pickup to see how the balance was distributed, and since one side of the carriage has more weight on it than the other, it was leaning a good bit. With that, I set it back down and Jake used a ratchet strap to attach it to the forks and give us just a little bit of added assurance that it couldn't slip off. Then I just set it aside so that we could first move the base to the trailer. The base, while heavy and big, was actually very easy to move. I extended the boom out so that the forks were about center, and the guys once again hooked onto it with straps that were placed as close to the center as possible. And this way I could just pluck it right up and out. They did set a few clamps in front of the straps just to ensure that the front loop couldn't slip off. I thought it was magical watching this giant bed fly through the air. I mean, you just don't see this every day, and certainly don't get to be the one doing it. In the moment of moving things, I was serious and concentrating, but afterwards I couldn't help but laugh out loud at the very cool thing we were getting to do. Oh, and as for putting it on the trailer, it's like Matt Cremona planned the size to fit perfectly on a trailer. I had 3 rows of legs, and it nested perfectly in between the 2 railings to where we just had to throw on a few straps and then take it away. The gantry and a few straps were used once again for offloading. As I was hoisting the weight upwards, it was also pulling the gantry closer and closer into the trailer. So it was going like this, whoop, which made it a little bit more difficult to get out, but 5 of us were able to get it off enough to move the trailer out and from under it eventually.
License plate is dead. Go ahead.
All right, nobody touch anything. Now we could set it down in place, then make one last trip to my shop where we could load up the carriage to the mill, drive it and the SkyTrack here, then use it to move both pieces into place. So back over at my shop, picking up the mill went nice and easy just like before. We strapped it to the forks, then set it up and over the side of the trailer. Then I left Jake to strap it down while I got a head start on driving the SkyTrack to the woodshed. It was a long and cold and scary drive on the shoulder of the main road to get this over there, but it had to be done, so I did it. Once there, we used it to first move the base into place, which is around the back of the building. There's a covered awning that the previous owners used for RV, but when I bought the place, I knew it was going to make a perfect covered milling station. Jake and I worked quickly to set pavers in place so that it could be set down and hopefully never moved again. If I ever get the idea to buy a bigger shop, somebody please tell me no. And then somebody make me listen. Okay, now for the very last piece and the biggest test of my skills. If you can have skills after a single day. The carriage was hauled in on the trailer and backed up into place. Picking up the carriage is not even a big deal at this point, although it's still very cool. But setting it down was the tricky part. Not only did I have to pick it up high enough to get the wheels on the bottom of the carriage on top of the tracks on the base, but I had to miss running the machine or the load into the awning itself. So that was the challenge.
Come up.
Then on top of that, I had to square up the front 4 wheels of the carriage close enough to the tracks of the base so that once I lowered the forks, they would be sit down into their proper place and then be able to roll.
Strap it and we'll see if it rolls.
Again, slow and controlled movements.
Yeah, buddy. Oh, it's beautiful. I want to push it.
Aw, hello, Mill. That was a great conclusion to the day.
Great job, dude.
2 CNCs, a plasma table, and a bandsaw mill. It's only 4 pieces of equipment, but it was a huge evolution. There were a lot of challenges, but it turns out nothing that couldn't be figured out. I hope that you have found this adventure of mine entertaining and maybe even inspiring. I hope that you realize that if I can do these things, then so can you. It was just a very short time ago that I didn't know anything. I didn't know how to use tools. I didn't know how to build things. I didn't know anything about running a business or making videos. I am self-taught in all of these areas. And there is absolutely nothing special about me that makes me more capable of doing them over anybody else. With that, I hope that you are putting effort into learning the things that get you excited. I will see you soon.